What's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-JAY, and yes, I'm back with another video. This is for Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 4, Episode 6 recap. And yeah, we see your girl Laura as high as a kite. They definitely found Andrew, and yeah, Ruth has a super big surprise. That's why you see her face just like that. Absolutely. Listen, I got a huge Raku-Easter Egg that I'm going to reveal at the very end, so stick around. Let's break it down. So the name of this episode is Disappearing Act, and it reads, Andrew faces interference from local law enforcement while fleeing the compound. Aaron makes a desperate plea, and Ruth grows suspicious of Joan and Laura. Oh yeah, we're going to break all of this down. So where did we leave off? We left off where Andrew was driving to go on a mission to take care of the plan that he put in place with the highest and Daikon, and he got a flat tire. So here we are with Deputy Kate, and she is inquiring as to what's going on, and she's being real friendly about everything. She's like, yeah, it looks like you got a flat tire. And he's like, yeah, I got a flat tire. Remember, the bodies are in the trunk, so he's not trying to open the trunk. So she's investigating like, yeah, you know what, I can help you out and everything else like that. And of course, Andrew is very insistent. He's like, no, it's no problem. Listen, I can handle this. So she's like, yeah, do you have a spare tire in the trunk? He's like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. She's like, well, I'm not going to go until you open up the trunk. He's like, listen, I understand. You're very concerned. Don't worry about it. Andrew's just trying to get her out of there. He's not trying to let her find out about those bodies in the trunk, right? Brian and Lynn are dead in the trunk. So she's like, listen, we're very friendly. I'm on a coffee run. If I come back, I'm going to help you out, all right? He's like, don't worry. I'm not going to be here by the time you get back, right? So he's waving, but he's like, she better not get on that radio. So she gets in the car, looking all suspicious at Andrew. And what does she do? Yeah, she gets on that radio. So you already know Andrew's about to take some action, right? So she calls your boy, Sheriff Conley, and he's like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, you know, I see a guy here, you know, looking real suspicious. He has a flat tire, but he's not opening his trunk. He's just staring at me. So Kyle goes over and he's like, hey, listen, you know, what's his description? Oh, you know, tall, black guy, you know, 6 foot, bald head, and everything else like that, right? Real vague description of Andrew. Say, like, what's the place? So they run the place and find out that the car is stolen. The plates are stolen. So what happens next? Your boy, Andrew, pushes his way into the car, opens up the door, and like, what's going on? What's going on? And they're hearing all the rustling that's going on. Your girl, Kate, tries to shoot her firearm, and she shoots up into the ceiling of the car. And your boy Andrew gets her out of the car, yokes her up, and puts her into a chokehold and knocks her out, tells her to go to sleep, right? So, of course, Andrew's now like, oh, man, dang, you know, I ain't want to get into this. So now here we are in the punishment trailer, and George is in the punishment trailer. Daikon comes in. He's like, man, you know, am I going to get punished really bad? And he's like, yeah, I thought you was the highest. He's like, yeah, you know, you might be punished real bad. And Daikon is just like, you know, why did you stick up for me? And George says, you know what, you're the leader. You know, I'm a soldier. So basically, I'm going to take the rap for you because, you know, you definitely the leader and we don't want you to get in trouble. You lead us. And Daikon's like, well, he was very impressed by that. The highest was very impressed by you stepping up like that. And so was I. He said, I will remember this, definitely. So here we are with your boy, Malcolm, right? Malcolm is still in the electric chair. He went all over himself, and he's talking to Daikon like, this is what you do, huh? You let people go all over themselves and all this and that. He's like, yo, man, I'm trying to negotiate with you. And Daikon is like, listen, man, there's nothing you can tell me that I don't already know. He's like, well, you know, Andrew, he's selling out Andrew now. Andrew has a child, and he really, really adores that child. And Daikon is like, listen, I already know that. We already know that there's nothing you can tell us. But one thing I do know, you shaking like a junkie, and that's what you are. You're a junkie, aren't you? And Malcolm's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. He's like, hey, listen, you want some? You want some of this? So he pulls out some magic powder. He's like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. You know, Malcolm's like, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. So he's trying to, you know, detox him and everything else like that. But yeah, your boy Daikon is definitely going to torture Malcolm. And he says, the highest has big plans for you. And he's like, no, you don't want to be enlightened, Malcolm. Oh, well. So here comes Joan looking all dressed up, looking good, right? Never seen Joan like this. And she's yelling back at your boy Aaron because he is stressed out, trying to get his wife back, trying to get back into the gates. So she's like, why is he yelling? And Joan tells Ruth that, yes, Laura was accepted into the Raku, but he wasn't accepted into the Raku. And they basically kicked him out. She's like, oh, wow, really? You know Ruth still has her suspicions about all of that. So here comes the highest. And Joan is like, you look nice, the highest. Are you ready to go? You know, he's like, Aaron is outside the gate. He's like, yeah, I know about that already. And Daikon's like, listen, you want me to eliminate him, get rid of him, take him in, detain him? He's like, nah, this guy right here, Aaron, he is in love. And because he's in love, he will do anything for love, right? So let's get in the car and let's go. And she's like, yeah, Laura was accepted into the Raku. She's like, isn't that wonderful, Ruth? And Ruth is like, yes, that's wonderful. Just playing along, just playing the game. And he's like, yeah, we found that he had a cell phone. And Ruth is like, oh my God, really? Like she didn't know because Joan just told her, right? Oh my God, that is crazy. And she's like, that is not good, Your Highest. Are you okay? And asking all this and that. It's like, listen, let's go. Let's go to the bank. Let's make it happen. Joan doesn't want to tell Ruth how much they're going to get in from the bank, but they're going to go and get some money from the bank. So, the highest is like, listen, this guy will do anything for love. Let's just get up out of here. So they get in their chariot and they're moseying on out of the gate. And your boy Aaron runs up onto the car. The highest tells them to stop the car. He's like, listen, what can I do? I'll do anything to get back in there, become part of Raku. He's like, what makes me think that you're not going to take your wife? And he's like, no, I won't do that. I'll do anything. I'll do anything to become part of Raku. Can you please help me? Joan, tell him. And she's like, I can't tell the highest what to do. Are you crazy? And, the highest is like, listen, I will consider it. All right. And we'll talk when I get back. Now step back from the car. So Aaron stepped back from the car. And now they're going to get some money from the bank, right? Here we go with your boy River running up on Ruth. And he's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, what's that about at the gate? Oh, that was Aaron at the gate. And yeah, Aaron got kicked out and Laura's here and everything else like that. So they're pretty much just checking in with each other with what's going on, So River proceeds to tell Ruth that, yeah, he got caught with a cell phone. And it rang just as the highest was talking about loyalty. And she's like, oh, wow, that's crazy, right? So she still has her suspicions about Aaron and Laura. So she's asking, where is Laura? And he's like, yeah, well, nothing happened to him, but she's in the trailer. So she's like, all right, I'm going to go check her out. He's like, yeah, I'm Ruth. I'll handle this, right? So she goes into the highest's trailer looking all around for where Laura is, right? Like, where is she? Like, is she under a rock? Is she under the bed? She goes into that back room. So she backs up and she's looking like up in the ceiling, like, are you in the ceiling or whatever? She turns around, boom, and she is surprised. Who is it? It's your girl, Rainbow Tigglebitty. That's right, Laura with all the powder all over her. And she's like, hi. She's like, hi, right? Look at Ruth looking down at the powder and looking down at the Tigglebitties, right? And she's smiling like, hey, how you doing? I feel good. She is high as a kite. Look at her. And your girl Ruth notices that she's high as well. So she's kind of talking to her like, yeah, so what's going on? And Laura is telling Ruth like she's never breathed like this before, and she feels so good, and she wished that her husband can feel the same way. And she's like, yeah, my heart is beating, feel my heart. And she's like, where's my husband? He's like, oh, he's outside the gate. He got kicked out. It's like, oh, that Laura's just so high. She's like, oh, well, that's too bad for him. Like, she doesn't even care. And she's like, yes, this is so wonderful. Did you go through it? Yes, I went through it. Okay. And she's like, yeah, I want to sleep right now. And Ruth is like, yeah, you go ahead and do that. You go ahead and do that. So she goes somewhere, and Ruth is just like, yo, I see what's going on. She is out of it, right? So we see your girl, Kate, and Deputy Kate, and she got handcuffed to the front of her car. Finally, the sheriff shows up, the FBI show up, and they're like, what happened? Yeah, he knocked me out and all of this and that and handcuffed me to the front of the car, obviously, right? And they're like, listen, you gave a description. It was pretty vague, and she's like, yeah, he kind of knew where everything was, where my taser was, where my strap was. And it's like, really? Really? And the FBI like, that sounds suspicious. She's like, yeah, he must be law enforcement or something better than us. And Conley's like, what? Are you serious? No, no way. She's like, yeah, he came from up the road at the camp. So Cal is like, hey, did he take away the strap like this? And Cal does a tactic, with Desiree. And he's like, yeah, just like that. He's like, oh, yeah. Okay. And the FBI, they're just like, And Conley's like, what's going on? Tell me. He's like, nothing. Okay, we'll find out what's going on. So who shows up? The highest is rolling down the road. This is when we see the first time where the highest and the FBI see each other for the first time. Diakona's like, hey, Sheriff, is everything okay? And the Sheriff's like, yeah, everything's fine. How's things going with you, right? And of course, Desiree and Cal, they're kind of like, what's going on? Nice car there and everything, right? Of course, you got Deputy looking on, right? I think she's down too. I believe she's down too. And yeah, they're like, yeah, a guy came and, snuffed up the deputy, a bald-headed black guy, 6 foot. Do you know him? You recognize him? Like, no, I don't recognize him. So Desiree's like, yeah, where you going? We're handling business. She's like, I'm talking to him. So the highest says, business. Like, oh, really? This is a nice car, huh? This is your car? He's like, yes. She's like, oh, you must be a very important person. And Joan is like, yes, he's very important. Like, come on, chick. Like, we got business to handle, right? So Diakon's like, listen, if we find out anything, we'll definitely tell the sheriff, and they go off, right? So, of course, Cal is like, yo, they lying, right? And, of course, Desiree is like, yeah, I know. I felt that he's evil, right? And he's like, listen, Mac has been holding on to whoever the FBI agents are undercover. I'm going to give him a call so we can find out exactly, who's undercover inside the Raku and see what's going on, right? So they drive off, and Diakon's like, you're highest? And the highest is like, listen, we'll talk about it when we get back to the campus. He looks pissed off because that was a lot of heat that was about to come on him. So here we go with River, and he goes outside the gate to talk to Aaron. He's like, yeah, are you okay? He's like, listen, I need to get my wife. Can you help me get my wife? He's like, listen, why did you guys come here? And he's like, can you just get my wife? He's like, answer me. So he answers River, and he says, well, she, we wanted to come here for healing. He's like, is that her idea or your idea? He's like, well, it's our idea. He's like, well, it seems, do you really know your wife? He's like, why you say that? He's like, yeah, it seems like she's scamming. It's like, scamming? Well, my parents said that. Who are you talking to? So Aaron gets upset, and then your boy River's like, do you come from money? He's like, what do you want, money? He's like, you know what, if you're not helping me get my wife, just stop talking to me. And Aaron walks away, and River's just like, oh, well, here comes your boy scumbag man. He's like, River, get over here. He's like, what are you doing out here? Oh, I'm just getting some air. He's like, get your ass back inside, right? He tells River, get inside, and he tells the guards, listen, don't let nobody outside of this gate, man. What's wrong with y'all, right? Man, they get real strict over there. So the girl River runs up on Zane. She's like, hey, Zane, hey, how you doing? You okay? She's like, listen, we've been very concerned about you because you've been acting weird lately and all of this and that. Like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. She's like, what did you give me to drink? Oh, it was a volume. Oh, okay. So she must have definitely taken it because she's like, yeah, I'm very calm right now. And she's like, yeah, you've been acting crazy. And Zane says, well, I know how to act crazy. And Ruth is like, listen, you killed the soldier. She's like, yeah, you deserved it. He deserved it. But she's like, yeah, I fooled you guys. I fooled everybody. I got you guys real scared, right? So Zane all this time was playing around or acting like she was crazy, but she's not. I think she did snap, but, that volume was kind of bringing her close. So Ruth is like, listen, I got to tell you something. She says, what? She says, you got to promise to be cool, but Lacey is still alive. She's like, what? She's like, listen, I got the key to the infirmary. You can go see her real quick, but be quick. Don't let elder mother see you. Don't let nobody see you. She's like, oh, thank you so much. So he gives her the key, and she hugs Ruth so hard that Ruth's hood falls off. Like, she is so happy that Lacey is still alive, and she's going to go see Lacey. Now, here we are. We're back at the sheriff's department, and we see that, Cal is definitely questioning Kate. And he's like, yeah, you gave a real vague description of this guy. It's like, what's up with that? And they're kind of questioning everything. And your boy, Sheriff Conley, goes off. And he's like, listen, you guys need to lay off my deputy. I'm still running the show here. And, of course, Cal is like, you're not running anything here. We're just asking questions. We need all this information. What are you guys hiding? Right? And Cal is going off. Cal is no joke when it comes down to finding out information. So Sheriff Conley's like, you people, when they say you people, but he's talking to his own people, right? You people come in here. You're trying to run the show. I'm tired of this. If you want to do it and mess up this town, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Right? So he's going off, and they're like, calm down, Sheriff, calm down. Desiree's like, hey, listen, we all working together here. He's like, no, we're not. You want to run the show? Go ahead and run the show. So he goes out, and Cal chases after him. And, of course, Desiree's like, listen, I'm sorry. Listen, tell me, was this the guy that yoked you up and put you to sleep? And she's like, yeah, that's the guy right there. Yeah, that is him. Like, who is he? She's like, listen, I can't tell you. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. She's like, come on, tell me. She's like, nah, don't even worry about it. So she gets on the phone with Cal as Cal is chasing after Sheriff Conley. And she's like, listen, the guy that definitely yoked up Deputy Kate, yeah, he's one of our own. Mac put him in, but he may be in too long. He may be gone. He's like, oh, man. It's like, all right, just keep watching the sheriff in that bar, and we're going to see if the state police going to pick up that car on the radar, right? So, yeah, they know Andrew is inside. So here we go with your boy River talking to Ruth, and he's saying how he saw Zane running really fast, not looking at him, and Ruth tells him that, yeah, she told Zane that Lacey is still alive. He's like, oh, is that why? She's like, yeah, she's falling apart. She's like, what happened at the gate? Well, found out that Aaron's parents basically cut him out the will because Laura was trying to get the money. So he's like, yeah, I think they're trying to scam us and get the money. And Ruth was just like, I already know that. You're so smart. He's like, listen, when we get the money, we need to make a run for us. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do that, but not without my daughter. So he's like, hey, listen, I got something for you. So he has a key, and she's like, what's that? That's a key to the children's trailer. She's like, how'd you get it? Oh, I got it from Manny while he was sleeping. She's like, River, all right. And then she leaves off. He's like, hey, no thank you or nothing? He's like, bitch, right? He's using that word a lot. And the last time she said, last time you called me a B, see what happens, right? So he calling her when she walks away. Here we go with insane Zane, but she's not insane. And she walks into the infirmary, and she sees Lacey laid out, sleeping, calling her name. Lacey, Lacey, are you awake? She wakes up, and she's like, water, water. I need some water, right? So your girl Zane is trying to look for some water. There's no water in sight. She's looking all around, trying to find her some water. And she gives her something, and she's like, no, that's not it. That's not it. She picks up a cup. She's like, yeah, give me that cup right there, down there, right? She's like, you sure that's water? She's like, yeah. So she tries to drink whatever's in that cup, and she spits it right out. Why? Because it's not water. It's moonshine. And of course, Zane is just trying to be helpful. She's just so shocked that her friend Lacey is still alive. She's like, listen, go over on that counter, get the amphetamines. It's something that says amphetamines. She's like, yeah, she got it. So she opens it up for her. She gives her the pills, and she's like, all right, go ahead and leave. Go ahead and leave. She's like, you sure? You sure? She's like, yeah, go ahead and leave. What is she going to do with that medicine? You guys drop your comments below. Let me know. So here we go. Your girl, Ruth, she goes into the children's trailer using that key, and she goes in there, and she just stops and looks, and she is so surprised. Why? Because she sees bars on the trailer where the kids are sleeping, but there's no kids in the trailer. She's like, what the heck? And she looks behind her as well, and there's bars, right? Keeping the children in the bed, but there's no children in the trailer at all. She thought she was going to see her daughter, and she's like, what the hell? What is going on? Like, where are the children at, right? This is crazy, right? Where are the children? Because, he said that the elder ladies definitely take a long break. Maybe they took the kids with them, but we don't know exactly where the children are. All right, family. So as promised, I wanted to show you this Easter egg. Now, you've probably seen these pictures float around with Mac, Aaron, and Deputy Kate, right? And it looks like Mac is questioning your boy Aaron. Well, this is the pic of the thumbnail from this episode, and they've been doing that lately, and this is probably going to be in the next episode where Mac is putting Aaron in the trunk. So what's going to happen next, we shall see in the next episode of Tyler Perry's Ruthless. This was a good episode, family. Definitely a filler episode. A lot of information, a lot of setups and everything. But yeah, it's about to go down. Aaron is identified. What's going to happen next? Family, drop your comments below. Let me know what's going to happen with Laura and everybody. This is definitely going to be a crazy season already. This one was a setup. And again, make sure you check out our live reaction to this episode right here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, family. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you for your love, your shares, your likes. I appreciate you all, fam. So until next time, salute.